Say.
They asked Shaq, should a man open up to a woman? Shaq said no. He says, because if you do, they're going to use it against you. He said, because if I'm crying about something, they're going to say the first time they get mad, they're going to say, see, you crying because your daddy said what he said.
How do you take advice from a man who has no woman? And I love Shaq. But how do you take advice from my brother that has no one?
Okay.
If you have that person in your life and you say, listen, I'm going through. Who else do you talk to at nighttime in your pillow talk? Who else do you share your life with? Who are you sharing with your life with, Shaq? Do you tell another man about your situation? And does he make you feel better? Like, who do you share your life with? So I don't agree with that at all. And I love my brother, but I don't agree with that. I think that makes division. Because if I got to call my girl and I talk to my husband.
Right.
When I heard Oprah say, and these are her words, not mine. She said, when I be stressed out and I be going through it after the show, I will come home and Gail could calm me down and put me to sleep. What you say?
What's that?
Okay, then you said it.
I'm going to nope. Oh, I'm going to get Oprah on here. I'm going to get Oprah on the show.
But those are her words. So I believe that partnership is partnership all the way around. When I leave this earth, there is nothing my husband will not know about me, and the other way around.
Did you know after your first two marriages, you going to get married again?
Yes. Because my first two marriages were just marriages of... My first marriage was you just couldn't have the milk without buying the cow.
Right.
That was the first marriage.
Right.
And we were boxers.
Okay.
We were Friday night fights. Okay? Okay? It wasn't domestic violence. We was Friday night fights.
Right.
Okay? I took an L sometime, but sometime I didn't.
Right.
Okay? Okay? The second one was I couldn't afford to pay my rent.
Right.
And I didn't want to have a boyfriend.
Right.
So that's why I say this is the first time I've really been married.
Right.
What up, y'all? Much love, peace, blessings. This your boy, Get a Mic, and I want to talk about what Monique said about Shaquille O'Neal when he was talking about whether or not men should open up to women. Now, we did a video on this. Let me see here. We recently did a video talking about that situation that Shaq, right here, let me see.
If you're
Should men ever open up to women? Shaq says no. So she's basically saying that she disagrees with Shaq and that, basically partners should open up to each other regardless. Now, where I disagree with Monique at in this situation is that she's speaking in a way where she's talking about her and her husband, okay? And it has nothing to do with a woman opening up to her husband. That is not basically the topic at all. Give me one second. That is not the topic at all for her to say that, she can open up to her husband anytime she wants. That is not what Shaq was talking about. The topic was about men.
You heard what Shaq just called it straight. You heard what Shaq said. Shaq said
What did he say?
The topic was about men opening up to a woman. And I believe Country Wayne was on that podcast with him and also agreed. Now, for her to say, that she disagrees with Shaq because she can open up to her husband really doesn't really make any sense in this particular instance, because a lot of times we know men and women to be different. So a lot of times us men are a lot better at problem solving. We're a lot better at helping out whenever we see somebody in need. It's like our nature to be able to care for the woman for the most part. It's our nature. They always say that, pressure and problems is built for shoulders, not hips. And in this situation, I understand what Shaq is talking about, because a lot of times the sisters are dramatic. A lot of times they have more emotions than we do. They're more emotional human beings. So a lot of times if us men, we bring our problems to them, a lot of times they don't know how to handle it. And a lot of times women would resent the man for even coming out and talking about the issues that he has, because most women look at men as, a father figure type, somebody they can go to when they need help, somebody they can get money from when they need money, somebody who's supposed to solve their problems and be about what they're about. You know what I'm saying? And in this situation, that's why I say I have to disagree with her, because she's a woman and she's speaking from a woman's standpoint. Okay, she's speaking from an emotional in a somewhat of a dramatic fashion of her being on this show. So I can't really get down with this. I see what Shaq is talking about. And another point that she made was, what did she say? She says,
Ask Shaq, should a man open up to a woman? Shaq said no. He says, because if you do, they're going to use it against you. He said, because if I'm crying about something, they're going to say, the first time they get mad, they're going to say, see, you crying because your daddy said what he said.
How do you take advice from a man who has no woman?
okay, so she says, how do you take advice from a man that has no woman? I have to disagree with that as well, because just because he doesn't have a woman now, and we understand there's a whole lot of other stuff surrounding Shaq and some of the stuff that he's into and, you know, some of the decisions he's made. But I feel like that goes for all of these celebrities, okay? Me personally, I think all of these celebrities are into something. They're into some sort of, they pledge fraternities. They're in all of these, you know, secret groups and things of that nature. So we really can't trust anything that famous people are talking about to begin with, okay? We only talk about these things from a surface level standpoint. We know all of these celebrities are into something. They got some backstory. They're involved in something that regular people are not. So we can't really speak about them the same way as we speak about regular people, because we're all different, okay? But I don't think that particular point makes sense, okay, when you say that he's not qualified to speak on relationships because he's not currently in one. I have to disagree with that as well, because it's not like Shaq never been married. It's not like he's never been in relationships before. So he most likely has experience in relationships. Just because you're not in one at the moment doesn't mean anything. And you can say the same thing for her, Steve Harvey, and all of these other people that had multiple relationships and multiple marriages, and they're still out there giving advice. So you would have to use that and apply that in the same fashion. But I can understand, you know, if you were to try to take marriage advice from somebody who keeps jumping in and out of marriages, I can understand somebody saying that. But as far as basically saying that he can't speak about a relationship situation because he's not in one, I don't necessarily know if that's a good comparison. You know what I mean? Because we all know Shaq been in relationships. We all know he was married. He got kids and so on and so forth. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of times when men open up to women, a lot of times it goes south, okay? Whether or not that woman gets mad at the husband or the boyfriend, or whether or not she's going to end up using that on him or against him in times where he may be vulnerable. So I can understand that. Now, if, you know, everybody's different. Some women are more wise. Some women have more, you know what I'm saying? They're a little bit more tolerant when it comes to those type of issues. Everybody's different. Nothing is 100%. I don't know how many times I got to keep saying that, and we can't keep saying not all, because we understand that. There's always going to be percentages in rare cases, but there are women who are a little bit better at that, and you can open up to them. But for the most part, on the broad spectrum, Shaq was basically saying that it's not a good idea to do so, and I have to agree with him for the most part. And she was basically saying, what did she say here?
And I love Shaq. But how do you take advice from my brother that has no one?
Okay.
If you have that person in your life and you say, listen, I'm going through, who else do you talk to at nighttime in your pillow talk? Who else do you share your life with? Who are you sharing with your life with, Shaq? Do you tell another man about your situation? And does he make you feel better?
So I'm not really sure what she mean by that. Is she just basically trying to, you know, resort to a, how can I say, a same-sex type of situation where that's supposed to be like a joke? But my thing is, a lot of times us men, we do have brothers, cousins, good friends that we can speak to about our issues, and it will make us feel better. One thing I know is that a lot of times, you know, brotherhood is very important for us, to have peers, to have people that's going through similar things that we go through. A lot of times in relationships, men and women can't completely understand each other because we're different. You know what I mean? A lot of times we're not going to understand exactly how each other feel. For her to crack the joke, do you open up to another man about your problems? But that's not necessarily a joke, because having brotherhood, a mentor, or anybody, you know, that been with you, been through what you're going through, a lot of times, sometimes that is the best person to speak to start to feel better about your situations in life. Because a lot of times our women, our wives, they really can't understand, or they haven't been where we've been for the most part. So that's pretty much what I got for this video. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Thank everybody for watching the video. I'm Get a Mike. Much love, peace, and blessings. And I'm going to holler at y'all in the next video.